Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday morning, and I'm here once again in the book of Luke and continuing. So, we're here, chapter 5, and we're going to be reading from verse number 4. Now, it says here, when they had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish." "Master," Simon replied, "we worked hard all last night and didn't catch a thing. But if you say so, I'll let the nets down again." And this time their nets were so full of fish they began to tear. A shout for help brought their partners in the other boat, and so both boats were filled with fish on the verge of sinking. Now, quickly, I want to look at this and just bring out a couple of points. The first thing is, as we know, he came and the crowds were pressing him, and so he just used what they had available. He used their boat and he launched out a little bit so that he can get to speak better to the crowds and everyone can get to see him. Now, when he's finished taking care of those needs, he simply asks these guys, he says, "Hey, listen, just go out to the deeper waters and set down your nets for some fish." Now, the first thing Peter did is like, like, we toiled all night last night and we didn't catch a thing. But anyway, since you say so, and I like that. Like, yes, he was bold to speak up, and that's usually our reaction, like, like, but I've tried this thing and it didn't work, I did that and it didn't work. A lot of times when God gives us an instruction, that's our reaction. We just tend to like think of the first excuse that comes to your mind. I did that already, that didn't work, like whatever. But sometimes it didn't work that time because the timing wasn't right, or because God was not involved in it. So we gotta be like Peter. Even if we get to that place where you're thinking like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work, get to that stage where he says, anyway, at your word, if you say so, I'm gonna go do it. And his obedience caused him to experience an amazing miracle. They went out there right at the same place where they had not caught anything before, and there was so much fish that the things began to tear and they had to call for help. Now, that's another interesting point, that he didn't just keep the blessing to himself. They could have been like, let me see how much, and maybe we could come back and get a little more. No, he called the others, and they too came and they too were blessed. So the point in that is that their obedience brought them into the blessing. And that is a very important point. Obedience gets you to the blessing. That's what we got to do. Whenever God says move, move. Don't think about why and how and if and I don't think and maybe. Move. Obedience gets you to the blessing. The second thing is that they didn't just keep it to themselves. When they realized that the blessing was just so overflowing, they were willing to say, hey, call the other guys. You guys come and be a part of this too. And that's how we must be too. Whenever God blesses us to the point, some people, they get so much stuff. Sometimes I feel, almost like that, where you just seem to have so much stuff. And the thing is, find somebody else to give it to. Find somebody else to use it. You got like so much bags, so much clothes. And then you look into your wardrobe and you realize, like, I can't wear all this stuff. This is just way too much. You take somebody, some of them are tight, or maybe you lost weight, so some of them are loose. Don't be like, man, in case I get back fat or in case I get back fine. You bless somebody with it. Good stuff, right? We're not giving stuff that's not good, But that's one of the points that I want to make, that, don't just keep it to yourself. God is blessing you to the overflow. God wants to bless you to the overflow. If you don't feel blessed right now, know that he does. And that time is going to come. But there's going to be such an abundant blessing in your life. Share it with those around you. But remember, obedience. He doubted, yes, and sometimes we're human. And, we may think about all the different supposed facts. But the truth was, there was a blessing out there. And his obedience brought the blessing. All right? Remember that as we go into today. Remember, he loves you, and I do too. Be blessed.